But one thing I will say, as an artist, I feel like every artist should do. You should want to tell a story when you perform it, because you don't never want it to seem like they're listening to your music. They could just turn that on in the headphones when they by themselves and they go for that ride. When you come to see you live, it's like a completely different experience. Like you gotta tell a story the whole time. One thing I hate when I perform is when the DJ try to skip to the next track. I'll be having to tell him like, wait a minute, I gotta actually know, you gotta introduce the song. You know what I mean? You wanna try to, ease them in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get too graphic, but you gotta kind of treat the next song like sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want to just go ahead, plow. Shorty gonna be like, damn, nigga, like, slow down.
Yo, 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 we back with another episode of Jack of All Trades. This is episode 16. I'm your host, Jamal. We are back in the building with the triple threat, the triple three, the trio, us, the guys. Time, what's the deal, brother?
Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on, man? Once again, back in the building on another episode of Jack of All Trades. Yo, we got a very special episode for you this week. So, you know what I mean? Hold tight, get ready, get set, let's go. Other than that, you know what I mean? Once again, it's another sunny day in Southern California, so I can't complain. Like the man said, it never rains in Southern California.
Yo, we on that same wave. I legit had those lyrics in my head. Just when you said that. Legit. California love. Dun, dun. Yo, we gotta get that joint on there, like a little clip just for when you come on. For real, for real.
Yeah.
But yo, glad to have you on, brother. Yo, stand with the master plan. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's happening?
Not too much. Somehow it's sunny over here on the East Coast too, so it's a nice day. Went out and got some sun, and now we going to talk. Do what we do, man. What more needs to be said?
For sure, bro. For sure. What we got special on, bro? Take it over. That's what we got.
Absolutely, man. We got a special guest today. You know, a long list of credentials here. First off, a musician, over 15 plus years doing this thing, growing, making his mark. Just really, the progression he's made has just been all inspiring for me to see. An artist. I mean, we're talking about a Renaissance man here, man. You know, whether it's doing art for his own music covers, or whether it's doing artwork for companies or people around the way or people anywhere. I mean, this guy is just extremely talented, entrepreneur, got his own clothing line. You know,
Yes,
he go
sir.
out, rip down a show, and then got people wearing his shirts and his hats afterwards, man.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
and the self-proclaimed, and from my point of view, man of principle.
Yes, sir.
And most importantly, alongside alumni, stamped, certified, Mr. Stevie Franks.
Yo,
Welcome
let's
to the
go.
show, bro.
That was a heck of an intro. That was a heck of an intro right
Let's
there.
go. Let's
That
go.
intro was amazing.
Yes, sir.
The intro was tough, man. I appreciate that.
No problem at all, man.
Yo, you know what's funny? Y'all started the interview about California. They say it never rains in California. That is a damn lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, it rained a lot. It rained a lot out here, actually.
Yo, bro. I went out there to get a visit to Shorty I was dealing with at the time. And it rained the whole weekend. I said, yo, I thought it don't rain in California. She said, don't believe that. She said, don't believe that. It rains out there. I was
Tony.
like, wow.
You lying.
They lied. They lied.
They lied, bro. But yo,
Appreciate you
man.
fellas bringing me on, though, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And just to echo Stan, bro, Renaissance man, that's basically what Jack of all trades is, bro. You are the epitome of the brand of Jack of all trades. You are a Jack of all trades, man, bro. Salute to you, brother.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I love what y'all brothers doing too, man. I love to see people from the town moving like how y'all moving. Y'all talk about stuff that everybody ain't talking about. You know, that people need to be aware of. You know, I think a lot of people are asleep. I don't think a lot of people are aware of, just even on a political and economical standpoint, about where certain things are. Y'all talk about a lot of those things, and a lot of people are getting like rocked to sleep, because I don't think people really understand how real it's going to get over the course of, what is it? It's 2026. I say right either at 2030 or right before 2030, we're gonna be seeing a completely different ecosystem, completely different world. It's it's I don't want to spook people out, you know what I'm saying? But it's real, you know what I mean? And y'all touch on a lot of those points, you know what I'm saying, that people aren't really paying attention to as far as the economical infrastructure, as far as our country is going, even the whole world. And I'm happy that y'all brothers are really expanding on those types of things, and it's not even just on that, but just an overall scope. And then at the same time, y'all keep it balanced. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to, y'all real heavy sports fans, which is I think is immaculate. Because it brings everything to a whole. When y'all like just like you said, jack of all trades. It's the
Yeah,
truth.
man. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
that's a very good point you bring up, and it takes me into a two-part question. And the first part of that question is coming up alongside to where you've got to now at this point in your life, all the things you've accomplished. What was the difference in that world versus the world we live in today? And then secondly, do you think you could have taken the same path if you had been living in this world today during your formative years?
That's a
Oh
heavy
man,
question.
that's a
That's a
great
good
question.
question.
That's a great question. Well, Um, one thing that I appreciate about this world now is that the reach that wherever you want to do, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, before you had to know this person to know that person, know this person to know that person in order to accomplish certain things. You used to have a certain amount of money in order to accomplish certain things. Even on the smallest level, what people consider success or accomplishments, you don't need that too much anymore because with we don't even really understand the power of even having, I'm on an iPhone right now, so the power of even this phone device that you hold is a very powerful tool, period, just in itself, in a sense. Then we have social media. Then everything is a freaking app. Like I think back then when me and Stan used to just be trading raps back and forth to ourselves when we were in high school, I can't even imagine how it would have been back then if I had a freaking iPhone. If I had a
Mm.
phone, period, in general, like all the behind the scenes footage of us just hanging out outside as homies and just rapping in front of each other. I don't know why these young boys don't do it now because
Right, right.
but also what I understand is that the culture in hip hop is just very different. Like the definition of rap is very different from when we were coming up. It was like who had the illest verse, who had the hottest punchlines.
The
Uh,
metaphor, the sickest
right,
metaphor. Yep.
right. You could go back and be like, yo, play that joint back. Yeah, you heard what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
Or we listened to a track that was like a storytelling joint. So it was just very, very different. You had the definition of nice now and nice back then is completely different. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mm.
But
Hmm.
I think that if I would have came up in this era, I believe I believe
You
that
be a
it'd
singing bull. You be one of them singing
probably
rappers.
probably you know what? It depends because I realized like a lot of hip hop that I listened to started back in the 80s first, and
Mm-hmm.
then I went forward because a lot of my family members were into hip hop real heavy. Like my
Hmm.
uncle, he used to have like this huge boom box, and he used to always like walk around with it, just like how they do. You ever see them like people used to walk around with
Do
that
the
joint? He used
right
to walk
thing and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yep.
right. He used to walk
Yep.
around with that joint. He had it out. He used to sit out front right here, had it outside, just chilling. And as a kid, I wasn't allowed to touch it. And I remember, and he always used to shut his door. He's telling me, don't go in his room. Do not go in my room. I don't care what you do. Don't go in my room. One day he left the door cracked. I'm up there. So I'm a little kid. I'm looking through the door like looking around, see if anybody see me. I walk through the door. I start grabbing tapes. They had the Fresh Prince of Bel Air TV show back then. So
Mm-hmm.
that was what I was familiar with. So I said, "Oh, I think that's the Fresh Prince, Will Smith." Put that joint in. I started playing that Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, listening to that. And I'm thinking somebody coming. Nobody came. So I'm like, oh, I'm about to go through all these tapes. I went through that to pop that out. Went through Special Ed. Uh, Eric B and Rakim, L Cool J. I was just going down the line. Eventually, I listened to so much hip hop. I passed out. And he got off work early. He tapped me on my foot. Didn't I tell you not to come in my room? He went off. You know what I mean? But that was hip hop was just it was just different. Like I think it was just back then hip hop was just something that we just it was like gold. It was
Mhm.
like somebody if somebody rap back then it was like really? Now it's like rap is like another. So it's a different dynamic of far as hip hop was. I think that so it's so hard to answer this question plainly because there's so many levels to it. Like now, if we're talking on an economical standpoint as far as reach, I think this is a great time for it because with a touch of a button, you could literally reach 1 million people if you do the right thing. Now, back back then, you had to really hustle though. You really had to be outside. You had to be at the open mics. You had to be at all the festivals. Had to be at the events. These dudes is becoming millionaires in their bedroom right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different ecosystem as far as that. But then there's a side effect to both of those things. Side effect to the first one is that you become socially awkward and you don't really
Mhm.
have like the hustle tools that it takes to have human interaction because you don't know how to perform. You
You're
probably
talking
never
about
really
you're talking
like
about
it
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
like you
now
just
socially
said
awkward.
yeah,
Okay,
right,
got you.
exactly. So you said
Yeah.
now you don't really know how to talk to people. If fans approach you or somebody like your music, you might get ignorant or just feel like just socially distant like and but the era that I came up in, you had to really be outside. You had to give people your CDs. You had to be at the open mics. You had to work on your stage presence in order for people to like you. Now these new artists, they don't even know the words to the music. Like you go to their shows, they're like they'll
Mm,
let the music play and they'll start doing their little dances and stuff. They're not
mm,
rapping like that. You know what I mean? Me and Stan talk about that kind of stuff all the time. Like
Yep.
they're not even doing that. They'll let the beat play and they'll just like, bruh, like, where's the skill at? But
Mhm.
that's the thing. There is no skill. It's hip hop is a lot, not all of it, but majority of it has turned into a fad, and it's not like a culture dependent upon skill. A lot of these artists don't even know what they want from their music careers. They don't. If you ask them what they're doing, well, I'm just trying to get on, but what does that look like though for you? The percentage of a hip hop artist getting on is so low and there's so many hurdles on you as an artist that it's extremely difficult to get to that level that they're talking about. Either you have to have economic funding that's going to just throw you all the way out of here, or your talent is just supremely undeniable
yeah.
that you just above so many different people, or I think that the best route to go is as an independent artist because they're going to ask you what type of motion do you have already
Mm,
when you're getting on. They're like, oh, how many followers do you have? How many streams do you have? It used to be how much units did you sell.
mm.
Now it's about how
Now
many
streams.
streams. Yeah,
Yeah,
now it's how many
streams.
streams do you have.
Mm,
So um it's just I think that the problem is with artists now is that they need to start treating themselves like a brick and mortar store. Because if you treated just artists treated their art like a business and where they go find you, and not even just on even on social media, I'm talking about like merch, just like Stan said, like merch, website, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I came out with one of my projects, I think I was the only artist to have a website with my project. And I remember just watching the downloads come through and people supporting. I'm like, oh, it worked. But Griselda did the same formula. I got it from them. I was like, yo, let me try that just real quick and see if it works. Actually,
mm,
one of my homeboys made a suggestion. He was like, yo, I think you should allow people to actually download so they can support you. But I'm like, everybody's streaming. He's like, but you don't know that until you ask them. Sometimes that's why they say a closed mouth don't get fed.
Mm.
So sometimes when you ask them, And this is how the saying in the good book though. You ask, you will receive. So when you ask them to support, ask them to support me, they did. I remember one person spent almost $300 on one song just to
Wow.
support.
Shout
You
out
know
to
what I'm
that
saying?
guy.
Yeah, she was actually a female. She from Canada.
Shout out to
Okay.
that girl.
Yeah, know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just so many different ways how you work the game, but I know I went off on a tangent, um but to like I said, it's a caveat, it's a thing to both. Like there's
Right.
benefits to both. But man, listen, I love coming from my era, dog. Ain't no era better than hip hop era I came from.
Nah,
I mean
that's facts, bro. That's fact.
I
I
sound like
agree, bro.
I sound like the old head right now, but I don't care.
Oh
Like
well.
it is what it is.
That's all
Yo, I
right
got a
though.
question. I
That's
got
all
two
right.
questions.
They
I got
need
two
to hear it.
questions because you mentioned something about the why do you want to get on? So let me ask
Uh
that same question for you. Like, you know what I'm saying, what's your motivation and what's your inspiration?
well, I feel like my motivation, I had the same plan since I was 17. So I was going to school in Philly at the time. I think I really started really thinking about really tackling this hip hop thing. Um, I was actually in a group. It was me. It was a brother from. He was from he's from Brooklyn, but he moved alongside Rashawn. He was another
So I know
member.
Rashawn.
Yeah, Rashawn
Yeah.
and Terrell Woods. He was in the group too. He didn't want nobody to tell nobody. He didn't want nobody to say nothing. But Rel was in the group. It was I think it was my brother and it was somebody else. And we were all and the thing was Sean Brown was in it too. We were all together as a collective. So we used to record on tapes in my man basement. And at first I wanted all of us to be a group, but everybody started going like their own separate ways because nobody was like really focused at that point. Everybody had their own thing going on. Um, my thing as an artist myself, I don't know what their goal was. My goal was always to get to the highest form that an independent artist can get. Now, if I get to the point where I can make a negotiation with a label of some type, oh yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Because I think you can't. It's incredible. Even at an independent level, it's incredibly hard to do everything by yourself. You can
Mhm.
only get but so far with just doing everything on your own. That's in business, anything that you do.
That's facts.
Need some type of assistance. You need organization in order to get yourself to that next level. So independent was because I always wanted to be able to have some level of control of when I wanted to drop the content that I wanted to make, the message that I wanted to push. I always wanted to have levels of control over it. And then I just don't I don't want to speak out of turn, but some things about the machine I really don't agree with
Mm.
all the way. So it was I've seen a lot. I'm like I said, I gotta watch what I say on certain platforms. I'm saying is that I've seen some stuff and I've seen a lot of stuff, and I don't. And when you get to a certain extent and you look and you ask yourself questions, do you want to be a part of that? And the question is no. Then you find the best way how to do it. Me as an independent artist getting on is making a certain amount of money a year. You got to treat it like a business. You know what I mean? And you have to give yourself a goal, a cap. How many fans do you want to make this year? How many stone units do you want to sell that year? How much merch do you want to make that year? What are you doing in order to push the envelope in order to keep growing, whether skill wise, whatever type of project or work you're working on? That's my level of motivation. I look at it like how uh like, all right, so I know I don't want to jump ahead of the questions because y'all probably have questions about what I do for business too. But as far as like my clients now, I work with a lot of home service based business owners, right? And they have a salary or a cap that they want to reach on a certain period of time. And I have to ask myself, can I help them get to that level or can I not? So as a business person, you got to have a target. like of where you're going in whatever direction it is. You want to always want to shoot high. If you don't get to that highest point, you get like maybe even a halfway is good because at least you had a goal, right? Because some
Right.
people just doing stuff and they just don't have a substantial goal on whatever they got going on. So as an artist, that's a way for you to always love in your art because people look at it as, oh, he didn't do anything, oh, he's not successful, oh, he didn't make it. How you know? You count my pockets. You seen the statements. You know what I'm saying? You seen the success. They think that because you haven't been on what's called a quote unquote major platform and that doesn't make you successful. To me, if you've made $20,000 off of your art, that's a success, right? You got people that work a job, they don't last 6 months and they get fired. Is that a success?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it as where's your goal at in this thing as far as what like quarterly, because your goals may change. I might say to you, right, Jamal, I might say to you, my goal this year off of music is to make 150,000. 150,000 is a nice goal for
Mm.
anybody in any type of venture. Like I said, that's how I look at music. I look at music
That's
as
6
art.
figures. I'll take 6 figures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I look at it as art that I can have control of, that I can constantly grow, and I can constantly build on. That's what inspires me. And I feel like I haven't reached that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm constantly bettering, constantly improving, constantly grinding. And then what sometimes is a gift and a curse is that the game changes every year. It changes like this. Like it's always some new platform, some new app, some new way of how they distribute music, some new law coming out. It's always something changing. So it's just about evolving to me and just keep on going. But it's really all about your goal, what you want from this. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
want for your brand to grow, and if you want to grow independently on an economical space, then I really do think of like treating your music like a business is the best route for you to go.
Mm,
Yeah, I can see that because some
absolutely.
people's level of success may be, like you said, 50,000. You know what I'm saying? But for someone else,
Right.
that's unsuccessful. But for someone in that, I guess that category of people, that is success. So
Yeah.
I guess success is like open ended. I guess
Yeah.
from what I gather.
Yeah. I think I was just talking with somebody about this. Our people in African American culture, we're very tough on each other. Like we persecute each other. We always, if a person didn't get to a certain point or didn't, they say he didn't make it, or if a person isn't doing something that he did before, they like he fell off, right? We like we're our biggest critics. Like they say, if you're not successful by 40, then you washed up. You a unk. You you a nut. You know what I'm saying? Like they put you in these categories like you're a loser if you haven't reached a certain point in your life, if you reach 40 years old. And I think our people is the only people that do that
You know what's
in the,
crazy to
in
me?
our
You say
culture.
that, bro. You know what's crazy about that? The ones who have those hard critiques, they don't have the credentials themselves to even
Oh,
have
they
that
don't be doing
critique.
shit.
You
Mm.
know,
They don't be doing
you know what I'm
nothing.
saying? Like Tom, exactly, bro. Like, bro, who are you, dog?
Yeah.
Like, who are
That's
you
a
to have
fact.
these hard critiques and you pretty much either in the lower, you're beneath me, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
at least at the same level, you know what I'm saying. You
Right.
haven't reached that level to for you to look down upon me and say, yeah, you haven't got here yet. Well, neither
That's a
have you.
fact.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
And you don't even have the same motion we got going on. You a 9 to 5 dude. I'm an
Right.
entrepreneur. You feel me?
Right.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
over here
Right.
doing things from the mud, building everything up, which arguably we said a couple episodes ago, bro, that we think entrepreneurship was probably, you know what I'm saying, the more most gratifying because you
Yeah.
built that thing up versus trades, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think we all agreed that entrepreneurship was like, bro, it's a
The
lot more
hardest,
rewarding.
the absolute hardest.
The hardest.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm
It
saying?
takes the most
Man,
focus.
Yeah.
man,
You're not punching in no
man.
clock. It's 24/7,
You
365.
gotta wake up yourself. You gotta force yourself to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, knowing that you have no one else to show up for. You have to show up for yourself.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
In a lot of
1,000.
cases, you know what I'm saying, I'd be difficult, bro. I have a hard time waking up 4:30 in the morning to go to work. Just imagine for myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like some people don't have that type of dedication or discipline.
Man,
So
it's very tough because I look at it's hard being around family sometimes like that. Like oh man, you know you don't want to sound like the bitter person I don't like focusing on people who don't support me.
Mhm.
You know,
talk
but
talk to
sometimes
me, Steve. Talk to me, because
you
I'm
get
feeling that
tired
way right now.
but
Go ahead,
yeah,
talk to
like
me.
but
Talking to you right
but
now.
seriously, like you get tired of going to the barbecues and the family having 1,000 questions of why you aren't at certain places in your life,
Mm-hmm.
or because they have certain expectations of your success, of where you decide where you should be at in your life. But in your mind, they don't even know how hard you work.
Right.
They don't even understand what it takes to really be a self-sufficient, self-sustained, like you said, waking yourself up every day at a certain period of time just to go do what you do. It takes a lot. You ain't got nobody, you know what I'm saying, waking you up and putting you up and saying, yeah, you need to do this, need to do that. It's tough. You're always, and you always have to, like I said, in anything that you're doing, whatever business that you're involved in, the market is constantly changing. So you always have to make yourself aware of it. It's just so much work that has to go into it. And the problem is also, um they have they have this thing where they see something on television or on social media, and they say such and such is doing this and such is doing that. Yeah, and then everybody always has a suggestion about what you should do to be successful. Oh man, these people are crazy. They'll tell you, they'll have the most suggestions in the world. Well, maybe you should go talk to such and such. You ever try going on this? You ever try going on that? Bro, you need to put yourself out there more. You need to do this, you need to do that. Everybody has a suggestion about everything you're supposed to do. And I'll be looking at them and I just have to not say anything
Mm.
because they're not doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
They
Mhm.
have no idea what it's like to be in your shoes. Like, all right, granted, this is a prime example. So I had a show in Lawnside, this Lawnside Day, Parade Day. I was performing at that event. Now, if you decided to come out and support, great. I wasn't asking you to. The town asked me to get up there and perform.
Mhm.
I didn't ask that. If you couldn't be there to support, that's fine. Everybody got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect everybody to show up all the time. But don't but don't walk up to me and keep being like, "Oh, like you knew I was on. You saw
Mm-hmm.
it. It clearly said 5 p.m. on a flyer in big letter, big numbers. You saw it." So you're like, "Yo," and then they ask the same question. I had one dude walk up to my face, right? I ain't gonna say no names because we all know this dude. And
Ah.
so, so he walked up to me, right? It walked up to me, walked up to my tent, right? He says, "Yo, bro, haha, yo, what time you performing?" It was 3 o'clock. I said, "I'm on at 5." He was like, "Oh, damn. I don't know if I'm gonna be around for that though, but I know you gonna kill it though." I get off, I do my performance. My performance was like 30 minutes. I get off stage around like 5:30, right? I'm walking around, complete strangers are just like, "Yo, man, that was so dope, man, so dope, 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 dope." Don't know these people from a can of paint. It's always the strangers. It's
That show love.
always the strangers all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
walking around, right? Again, I ain't gonna say no names. Homie walked up to me, tapped me. Yo, bro, I know you killed it. I looked at him and I'm smiling and I'm trying not to look at him, but I turn my head and I'm talking to somebody else and he's still standing next to me. I think he waiting for a response. But what am I supposed to say to that? What do you want from me? You want me to be like, "Oh, it's okay. It's all." What do you I'm trying to understand what you want from me to say to that.
It's
I'm
weird.
not I'm not asking for you. And then it was like the crazy part about it was, right? He was like, "Yeah, we heard you from all the way down the block." In my mind, I'm like, if you heard me, then why wasn't you here?
Mm-hmm.
But then they walk up and they ask me, "You went on already? You knew I was on already." It's just like it's the weird stuff, man. Like they ask questions like that people don't care about. Listen, this is the artist stuff that I go through on a regular being around the way. You honk the
Mm-hmm.
horn, honk the horn. Stevie Franks. Everywhere I go. Stevie Franks, Stevie Franks. And your mind, the other person a person standing next to you, be like, yo, that's what's up, yo, everybody know you. And man, my mind, I'm like, yeah, everybody know me, but you don't know what I know about. Cause then when I go to the store, I be anywhere, be at Walmart or something. Yo, when the next project coming out? Son, you don't care about when my next project coming out, so what you asking me for? It's just it's the weirdest behavior. Like that's what I mean about having to show up to the barbecue sometimes. Because it's a lot of times because you haven't proven quote unquote your success, everybody has this vision of where you're supposed to be or where they put you at. And they're guilty because they know that they're not supporting or they're not a part of the push. It's so many different elements to this thing, yo. It's and it's
The
just the
human
experience.
the human mind is weird, bro. Cause
Yeah,
I get that what you saying with Jack of all trades, bro. Yo,
yeah.
I saw your story, man. I'm like, yeah. You saw it? Did you like it? You share it?
Oh, yo,
Did you like it? Did you
Yeah,
share it?
yo, yo,
yeah.
Jamal,
You know what I'm
Jamal,
saying? Like
Jamal,
that job, like, all
Jamal.
right. But I don't
I
take it.
had,
Don't go
bro,
ahead.
I had a same experience from a shorty, right? So me and her, we cool. I don't. My thing is, I don't ask for you to do anything. You don't have to say nothing. Don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I know who support me, and I know who don't. Clearly, I know. If I ever seen your name in the comments, if I ever seen you in the inbox and you say, "Yo, that joint, I mess with that."
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know what I mean? I understand. So sometimes people will walk up to me. I see them in the street, be like, "Yo, that joint you did on such and such, yo, I really like that." So I'm like, "Yo," but tell them like, "Yo, listen, I don't know if you know how social media work, but yo, interact with that joint. You know, the more you
Mm-hmm.
interact with it, the more visitation I get. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like I'm trying to expand my brand. So I don't think some of them really understand it. But that's cool. That's support. You said that.
Yeah.
You listen. You copped it. That's your joint. Yo, I like that joint. All right, that's real support. You know what I'm saying? That's valid. You know what I'm saying? Or
Mm.
even if you put bread in my pocket at one point in time.
That's yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
That's support. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Hmm.
But if you didn't support, just don't say nothing. Just don't say anything. Don't ask me about nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't
It's
have
it
you make yourself look stupid. You know what I mean?
it's what we discussed
Yeah.
earlier. They're watching, you know what I'm saying? So then,
Hmm.
when things don't go the way that you intend to happen, that's just material for them to talk about. Or you
Right.
old boy Stevie Franks, you know what I'm saying? Like this nut boy, he didn't do nothing. He did all that
Yeah.
rapping, ain't go nowhere with it. It's all it is, bro.
Right.
It's toxic. It's that crab in the barrel mentality. And I,
Seriously.
low key, not low key, I high key, I hate it. That's why I stay out the way. You know what I mean?
Yo,
So it is what it is, bro.
one last thing though, right? So just to prove exactly what you said, right? Shorty asked me, she said, why don't you, I used to see you post your music all the time. Why don't you post your music no more? I said, that's probably, she's like, I don't really see it as much as I used to. And all y'all know how the algorithms
You
work,
gotta
right?
like
For
it. You
sure.
gotta
For sure.
interact with
Yeah.
it. Yep,
Exactly.
yep, yep.
I said that's because
Telling
you're
on
not
yourself.
like,
Come on.
I said, you said you're not. I said it's because you're not interacting with anything. That's why you're not seeing nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
then, and then she was like, "You're probably right." I said, "Yeah, because you really don't like the music that I do, and you really don't support." She got
Mm.
offended, but it because it hurt. It truth hurts, b.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts when
Yeah,
you really bring it to you. Did she telling herself? Yes or no?
she did.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't wrong for
Not
that.
realizing it.
Yeah, I
Not.
wasn't wrong for that. You just told, and it's cool. You sometimes people. As I at one point after the conversation, I was like, "Damn, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have said that." But then I thought about it. I was like, "Nah, she told on herself. Like
Yeah, she should have said
that's a
that
real
because
thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
You said
You
exactly
told
what you
on
were supposed to
yourself.
say.
Exactly, 1000%. So it's so many different layers to it, but that's really mainly it's just it's like you said, human beings are very interesting individuals,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nonetheless,
Yeah.
for real, bro.
Absolutely. I was going to
For
ask a
real.
question, but I wanted to know. I know Tom said he had a question he wanted to ask before.
Yeah, Stan, you trying to take? I want to ask my question. You go ask all the questions.
Yeah, go
You asking
Stan.
them hard
Hey,
questions too.
have the
You was asking
floor.
real hard. You came right out off the gate, Stan. Stan was like, "Let me ask these questions that's gonna hit you." I'm like, "Dang, where's he at right now?" Stan trying to turn it into this crazy, man. This ain't Montel Williams, Stan. You ain't got to ask all them hard questions. Nah, but go ahead, Stan. I'm just messing around. Go ahead, Stan.
No. Rock out. I want to hear what you want to hear, man.
All right. So now I don't want to give away, or I don't want you to give away too many of your secrets, Steve, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I'm always interested in the process, right? The process of everything, but I'm always interested in the process. So before you're about to rock a stage, your process, how do you get ready? How do you get prepared? How do you look out and be like, oh, this crowd's, or this crowd, I could do something crazy with this crowd. How do you get there? You know what I mean? You backstage, you hype, you listening to your own music, listen to somebody else's music, listening to, you know what I mean? You sitting, you talking to somebody, or you just quiet in a corner. Take me through a process.
The
Well,
ritual. What's your ritual?
yeah. Uh, it depends. Now when I used to rap with Stan, one thing that we used to do to break the ice, we used to freestyle a verse. We just used to go through, run through whatever beats we had, and just rap on it, just to kind of like break the ice. Because especially when you look in that crowd and it's like a lot of people, it's just like you still get that nervous feel. You know what I'm saying? That you still in a certain way you get spaghetti legs a little bit. You just like,
Mm-mm.
you know what I mean? You get to a certain point where you look and it's like, oh man, especially if it's not like, especially if they didn't come there to see you. So if they didn't come there to see you, you're a new artist to them. So you're
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, now I gotta impress somebody new. So it's a different. It all depends. Like so, me regularly, what I like to do is I like to rap my own music many times before I even hit the stage. So what I'll do is even if I'm paying attention to other artists perform before I even get on, I got my own earpieces in. I'm listening to myself and I'm doing it 1,000 times over and over and over again. And I can know the song, but I might hear something in there different and then I could tackle it different when I'm on stage. And also when I'm in the crowd, I could look around, see what the crowd looking like. I'm like, all right, it's more men in here than it's females. I might want to tell the DJ not play this song. I'm gonna play that one. All right. I'm gonna start with this one first. Should I start with an acapella? They a little they might not their attention span kind of short. I need to come in with something crazy strong. All right, boom. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come with this song first. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make the vibe of this one fits this crowd. Oh, they're like an old school old hip hop crowd. All right, old school hip hop crowd. I might be hitting with some bars or like a extremely vintage boom bap type style beat. You know what I mean? Or if I really be able to have their attention, they're tuned in. All right, nobody did a acapella yet. All right, let me go ahead and hit them with this acapella. Hit them with the acapella. But one thing I will say as an artist, I feel like every artist should do, you should want to tell a story when you perform it because you don't
Mhm.
never want it to seem like they're listening to your music. They can just turn that on and the headphones when they by themselves and they go on for that ride. When you come to
Right.
see you live, it's like a completely different experience. Like you gotta tell a story the whole time. One thing I hate when I perform is when the DJ try to skip to the next track. I'll be having to tell him like, wait a minute. I gotta actually know. You gotta introduce the song. You know what I mean? You want to try to ease them in. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to get too graphic, but you gotta kind of treat the next song like sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want to just go ahead, wow, shorty gonna be like, damn, nigga, like slow down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you want to you want to try to treat this situation like, you know what I'm saying? You want to try to treat the situation like, like you're easing yourself into the next joint. Then it gives people a breather because if it's just song
Mhm.
after song after song after song, your eardrums literally get drowned out. So you'll be
Yeah.
sitting there and doing this, and it helps when you have different vibes for different joints and you take them on
Mm-hmm.
different levels. Especially if you have like now let's say it's different. If you got like an hour set, yo, that's the realest thing to do is have an hour set because you have to keep somebody entertained and their consciousness for a whole hour.
That's tough.
Not
Mm-hmm.
on not only that, your voice, you have to learn how to preserve your voice. You know what I mean? I literally just learned this over the course of the last 2 years because I used to have a knack for just screaming, like to try to get that loud stadium feel. But sometimes
Yeah.
you don't always have to do that. Like sometimes you could tone it down, sometimes you could bring it up. So you just add emphasis to certain things, and then it
Mm.
really helps if you got a good DJ.
Yeah.
Now, if you got a great DJ, he knows how to put the drops in there. He'll put the scratches. You know what I'm saying? When you performing, and I ain't gonna front though. One time, dude caught me off guard. I was like, I didn't expect him to do that, but it was still ill though. I was like, oh, I was like, look back at him like, oh, I did that. I was like, he caught that joint, and I got happy in my own joint. But you got to play it off and act like
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
said
yeah.
you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you forget your words, act like you know 'em. Put something else in there. If it
Facts.
sound like gibberish. Put something else in. You know what I'm saying? To just keep on going. But my process for performing is, you can try your best to be, because I normally do like a rehearsal session on myself before I go get
Mm-hmm.
my lineup and stuff like that of the songs I'm going to do. But you really don't know until you get to the venue what you're going to do. Because you can have a speculation, you could do your homework, you know what I mean, what they do at this venue, and you're like, oh, what they probably do. And by the time you get there, it'd be a whole nother different joint. And you walk in there, you expect to see dudes in army fatigues. You gonna walk in there and see a bunch of skirts. You be like, oh, luckily I got
Mm-hmm.
something in the clip for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Right.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like I said, it all depends on where you're performing, uh, what type of event you're performing at. If you're performing with somebody, if you have a DJ, man, listen. Or if you show up to them joints where you might get the little paid gig, and the guy like, look, man, I got $200-300 for you to come out, man. Then you come out and perform. It might come out there for the 200-300. He got you performing and putting the aux cord to your phone. Mad unprofessional, but he hit you with the bag though. So what you gonna do? You gotta come out there. You gotta put on a show. So
Yeah.
it's many different magnitudes, like different processes for different points of what you want to do. But somewhere along the line, though, you have to figure out how to break the ice, though, because
Mm-hmm.
you're always nervous. I don't care what you're doing. Somebody say they ain't nervous, that's a dangerous man. Cause I'm always nervous, bro. I've been doing this like Stan said, 15 plus years, and I still get nervous, especially in the crowd of a spot you never performed at before, and then you might have that one jerk in there, might say something funny, and you'd be like, all right. One time when kid tried to get up on stage while I was performing and try to grab my sneaker,
Oh
nah,
shit.
words born.
Nah, man.
Yeah, he was trying to be funny because he was trying to show off in front of his homies, like, cause we got the world star YouTube era, so everybody wants to have their moment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Whether they get beat up or not, they don't care. They gotta have their moment. Somebody want to pull out the phone and try to make a mockery of you, but then you still gotta keep your composure. And the funny part about it is, Autumn, that he became a fan after that. He was like, "Yo, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That joint was tough." Like, he's like, "Yeah, I was out of pocket, but that joint was tough though." And he rode off on his bike and did whatever, whatever it is that he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
You say he rode off on his bike.
Yeah, words born. He's on the
Ah,
bike.
shit.
He was on the bike and he got up out of there. He was crazy, man.
Young Lils is out of pocket, bro.
Insane, yo. That's insane.
Yeah.
What in the
I mean,
world?
Yeah.
what
Yep.
you're supposed
Oh
to
my
do, then
gosh.
people can't deny what you bring to the table. So
Yeah,
even the
yeah.
Yeah.
haters.
Now I got a story. Me and Stan was performing. We opened up for Mobb Deep. Um, rest in peace, Prodigy. Um, we had when we went on stage, then people were just screaming, Mobb Deep, Mobb Deep, Mobb Deep. I looked at Stan. Stan looked back at me. I said, "Oh, I see what type of monster we dealing with tonight." So now it's like we double, double nervous. We was already nervous because the size of the crowd was huge. I mean, it was filled from the front of the stage to the back, everywhere in the top, full. It was about like I think it was about like maybe 500 people that night. I think that was the most at that time that we performed in front of. And then when the DJ was trying to introduce us, crazy white lady gets up on stage, hump on the stage,
I
snatches the
forgot
mic from the
about her,
DJ,
man. That's
snatches
crazy.
the mic from the DJ hand like, "We want to see Mobb Deep. We want to see Mobb Deep." They grabbed her off the stage
Mm,
and cardboarded her, had her up in the air, legs dangling and everything.
mm.
They threw her out the building into the street. And and after that, they looked at her. I was like, "Yeah, we ain't going up there." I think everybody else was like trying to try it because then them hardcore fans, they be wilding. They'll do anything to try to get to the person that they came to see, right? And so they start the song. I did it with an acapella. Then dude, dude was like, "Yeah, we heard that kind of stuff before. Give us something else." Somebody said that in the crowd. Word up. Word up. Give us something else. I'm like, so I keep going. I try to ignore him, right? And then I was like, I got through the rap. Then I went and hit with the first joint. They was all right. It was like this. Some of them was like, all right, they was listening. Next joint, they was like, all right. It was no second joint. Second joint, the beat came on. Do do do. It was like, oh, wait a minute. This might be some real talk right here. Stan came in, did his thing, killed it. I'm telling you, I'm sitting there, he's rapping his verse, but I'm looking at everybody. And I'm just watching everybody. Everybody just first it went off like they just did not care. Then I'm telling you, when that beat dropped, they was talking, drinking hand, smooth turnaround. It was like we got their undivided attention. Everybody got quiet, quiet, silent. It was so quiet in there, it was scary. I'm like, in my mind, I'm listening to him rap. I'm like, do they feel it? But then it went quiet. It was like this. They were looking. Then it just went slow. Head started nodding. Then I see hands start moving. Then it was just like there was like a complete shift. And then when I got to my verse, we start me and Stan started wilding. And then after when we got to that one, then they just started going up after that. And then after then it was like funny, right? Then when the beat dropped, everybody was like this. Then I just started screaming. They started screaming, yelling. They started clapping. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
sir.
You know what I mean? So it completely turned it around. Then after that, they didn't even want us to leave the stage. They didn't want us to leave the stage. I think Stan got partially raped that night too by some crazy
Hey,
woman.
yo.
Like, yo,
Hey,
Hey,
yo.
like,
Stan, what? What?
Hey, yo.
yo, them
Next
chicks,
episode,
Stan,
Stan.
you ain't
Next
gonna tell us
episode,
that.
we need that.
yo, them chicks is crazy, man. They used to be doing some wild stuff at them shows.
Yeah, they
Wow.
But
different.
yeah,
Different,
yeah,
yeah.
but listen, we turned that show just is flipped. Like I learned that what it is you don't ask for the people's attention, you demand it with your presence.
Mm.
And I learned something in that. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they were when I got off stage, everybody wanted to buy me a drink. Everybody wanted to get a shirt. I told you, I lost him. I don't know where he went. He was gone. Stan's gone. I don't know where he went. I'm trying to
Stan's
look at
back.
him like,
Stan had a
yeah,
groupie.
yo. I was like,
Stan
he
had a
he
groupie.
came back collar stretched. I said, man, where you been at, man? He got lost in the thick of things, man. I'm like, damn. I said he was with something thick, all right. You know what I mean? So, yo, his joint was stretched out. I was up by the merch table. I'm like, man, where you been at, man? You know what I'm saying? But nah, but that was a great night. It was crazy. That was a memory I'll never forget. But
Hold up, Stan. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Stan.
Yeah. What
Stan
would you
got
like to know?
on the next episode, Stan. I got a list of questions now that I got set
Yeah,
up.
I got
so
questions for you,
you should
Stan.
be ready.
All right,
Feel free. Next
bro.
episode.
I got you.
I
Yo,
have a
I
skit
man,
didn't
on
know
it on my other
I
album.
didn't
We'll
know you
talk
had it
about
in
it.
you, brother.
no,
Didn't know you had it.
man, he the silent killer, man. He act like nothing don't never happen. He don't like to talk about nothing. He don't like to say nothing. I was looking at him.
He
What?
said,
What?
real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
yeah, on everything, and it was another show. Same thing happened. Crowd full. But that was weird though. That show because people were just looking at us, wasn't doing nothing. They were just staring.
Is that the
I
Dave
said,
East show?
yeah, Davies joint. It was eerie. They were just
Oh
looking.
no, that was the one. That was when that chick was wilding. That was that show.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
that show.
Every show was like
Every show, every
every
show
show
was
was
one.
different. Yeah, exactly.
Every show was one. Every show had a moment. But that one, yeah, he was. I lost him. I don't know
I
where.
lost him.
I don't know where he went. You know what I'm saying? He was going. You know what I'm saying?
Stan
I
getting
trusted.
lost
He
at
knows.
these shows, Stan.
Yo,
I'll be around somewhere, man, like Waldo.
yeah. Listen,
Ah,
man.
where's
That
Stan? Where's Waldo?
that brother is know how to defend himself. He all right. You know what I mean? I'm like, all
I
right.
keep
He's
listen, jack of all trades, bro. He's a first degree black belt, and he'll
yeah.
box your head off. He ain't gotta lift
Right.
his feet off the ground.
Yeah,
All
that's what I'm
hands,
saying.
all hands. You feel me?
That's what I
And
mean.
he a doctor. He a rapper. He a martial artist. Like he run it.
Then
Listen, bro.
listen, Jack. This is the perfect. I'm
Jack
telling
of
you,
all
this is
trades.
Jack of
the
all trades,
perfect,
man.
perfect podcast for all y'all. But yeah, Tom, I know that question was long winded, but hopefully you got insight
No,
on that
it was a
process.
great answer.
Yeah,
He is a
appreciate it.
great answer. It
That's the type of
gave
answer
me,
we don't get on
like you
podcasts,
said,
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we need
a
that.
lot of good insight, man. A lot of good background information, man. I really
Mhm.
appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And we don't want to hold up too much of your time. I think we probably got like a couple more questions, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to ask, like, you know what I mean? Now beyond the music and stuff like
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
what other things you got going on?
That's what I want to know.
So right now, of course, like Jamal talked about, the business aspect of it. So when I first started off, I started like my own graphic arts business. I want to say 2014. I was doing it like on the side a little bit, wasn't really that much. And then during the pandemic is when I really started picking it up. And then I just started the business full time. Now when AI came into play, it changed the game, and uh, it so happened by the grace of God, it just my business turned into something else completely different that I did not see coming. So instead of just doing straight graphic arts, I went into branding as a whole. So now a lot of
Mm.
things what a lot of businesses are missing, especially in this new technology phase, they're missing infrastructure and they're missing systems.
Mm.
So a lot of times they don't have any idea about how to brand themselves on social media. They don't understand about brand identity. They don't understand about simplifying their system output through a message, through a lead magnet, through a funnel standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
how to properly sell. They don't understand about CRM infrastructure. They don't understand none of this stuff. And when I started using AI to actually help me with my graphic artwork, it turned into learning systems and learning how to make that. So I went from unique branding designs, illustrations to unique branding solutions. So now I do digital marketing for home service exclusively for home service based businesses. um, I do services for other businesses if you do need the help. I work with fitness trainers. I'm actually working with somebody right now. He's developing a mentorship program for the youth of between the ages of 13 and 18. So I'm actually helping him develop. It's called Elevate You. We're developing an infrastructure now. So those that's the business venture currently that I'm working on right now.
That's what's up, bro. Yo, like slide the information our way too, bro. Because you know, jack of
Yeah,
all
for
trades,
sure.
we could possibly even use some of your products if it comes to that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
nah, for sure, for sure,
yeah,
for sure. I mean, every little bit I learn, I always me and Stan, like I always talk to Stan about it. And I'll
bet.
pass it off. Definitely pass it off to you guys. Definitely that will help. Definitely help y'all situation and help any businesses or anything come about. However I can help because I one thing about business is I like being of service. Number one, why I like being of service, a service based business is because you get to deliver however your service is based off of, you can give the own value, give it its own value.
Mm.
Like there is no limit. It depends on what value you deliver, what value you give. So
Mhm.
you can name your price of whatever service you have based upon what value that you like to deliver. So that's why I like service. Plus I like helping people. You know what I mean? I like help people get to the next level, man. I'm not a I like always like I said on the call we had yesterday, is I'm never above the system ever. And I always like, help seeing people become successful, you know. And that's a mate. And then if I was a part of that and I help somebody, that's even a plus for me. I'm trying to receive all them blessings, you heard?
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
just
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
put it out there, Stevie Franks actually helped create one of my logos for my real estate logo. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that logo you see right now on social media, Stevie Franks did that. So shout out to
Um,
the guy.
There it is.
Bless, man.
Yep.
Bless, man. Oh, like I
Yep.
said, man, always willing to help. And Jamal's a straight shooter. I'll tell you that much. You know what I'm saying? He's a straight shooter, dog. You know what I'm
Yeah, like
saying?
got to be. Ain't no finesse with me, bro. I'm just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Just
No special effects.
I
Yeah.
learned that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be shrewd and and
Yeah.
obviously I know Steve, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
that's
He was like, man, what can you do for me, man? He said, I don't know nothing about none of this stuff. None of this language you talking, but what can you do for me? You the expert. Yeah,
right. Cause
straight
why
up.
like
He's like, you the expert, man.
he asked me, what do you want? I'm like, man, I don't know what I want. Just go ahead and do it. That's what I'm saying. You got a key, put a city on it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like you make it
yeah,
the
yeah.
way you
You're
want
like,
to
yeah.
look. I don't
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
He
Cause that's what it
said.
was. That's what it was. I wasn't like, listen, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to cause like I went so I also have like kind of an artistic mindset. So I went
Mhm,
to school for video production, you know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I
mhm.
learned was I don't want to, I guess, box in the creative mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, be
Yeah,
free. Do what you
yeah,
think is necessary. You know what I'm saying? So you got
yeah.
free reign, but this is what I want. I want a
Mhm,
key, and on the chance I want a little city or a little town next to it. You know what I'm saying? And then
mhm,
here's my slogan, here's my name, realtor, and you just go with that. how you and
Yeah.
however you want to do it, and that's what happened. So
Yeah. 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 And I learned this from experience from dealing with each and every person that I do work with is that everybody works differently. Um, but you have to have um whatever person that you're working with, I understand that you have to have a system of your own and you have to stick to it. Because if you don't have a scheduled time that you're working, if you don't have a key turnaround time that you're going to do something, if you
mm,
don't have your own, just like how it is when Tom, when you asked about the process of how I do stuff, you got to have a process in business too. If you don't have a process in that too, you're going to drive yourself nuts. Clients are going to be texting you on a Sunday, even 1,000 emails on a Sunday. Like, did you get my email? You like, it's Sunday. I told you I'm not doing that on Sunday. But they listen, if you give them free reign, they'll
mm,
do whatever it is that they want to do. You have to have like a cap on certain things.
yeah,
And your scheduling process has to be a certain way.
yeah.
You just
Mm-hmm.
but the biggest thing also that I want to speak on that I don't know what next question y'all have, but um again, going back to treating even music, treating it like a business, right? So, what does a business have to figure out in order to be successful? I'm just gonna ask you guys,
I would say the overhead for sure, because
right?
basically that's what's going out versus what's
Right,
coming in. So basically, your budget.
right. That's one of them. That's
Okay,
true. But
okay.
the aspect I'm speaking on is the target market. You need to know what your market
Mm,
is.
the
You not know
demographic,
you
you saying?
exactly.
Okay,
So you
okay,
need to
okay.
know. You need to know who you're speaking with and who you're talking to.
Mm,
That's why I said that's why I know like when people walk up to me and say certain things about ask me certain things about my music or say they haven't done this and done that, I thoroughly understand why because you're not my target market. And
Mm.
I understand that. I understand you're not my target market. I'm not That's why I say I don't beg or ask for you to be the target market. It's so funny. They be like, why didn't I get the personal invite? It's on social media. I know you saw it because you liked it. But you say I didn't get the personal invite though. But the person that didn't get the personal invite showed up at the show though.
yeah,
The person that didn't get the personal invite bought the tickets though. What's the
bro.
difference?
Listen, I don't mean to interject, bro, but I'm bubbling right now. Pause. Dog, it's just listen. I saw something a couple of days ago on social media. I think it was an ad about marketing, right? And marketing
Yeah,
yourself.
right.
It was a comparison of day ones and the day twos. Now we
Mm,
all know about day ones. Day ones, they're like they the homies, they the guys. They're the ones that you supposed to be 10 toes
mm,
down, be solid with. But with this, the way this ad responded, he said, "Listen, sometimes your day ones can't don't have the vision or have the vernacular or the drive the same way, the same thing you have. So in some cases, your day
right.
ones may hold you back. To grow your business and to grow and become bigger, it's all about the day twos. The ones
Mm-hmm.
your clients, your
Right.
networking events, business
Right.
partners. Sometimes the day twos can become your day ones over time,
Mm-hmm.
but day twos are very, very, very important. And
One
since I
thousand
saw
percent.
that video, that's just changed my whole mindset because to your point, like bro, like the people who didn't get the personal invite, you know what I'm saying? They're at the shows and you
Yeah.
got the personal invite. You didn't show up. What's up? So
Yeah.
support, I'm learning that the support that I'm expecting to happen is gonna come from people who don't even I don't even know.
One.
For
Nah.
real, for real.
It's real. My thing. My point is, like you said, the demographic, and that's even for business, but it's for who it's supposed to go for. I brought back the aspect of the supporters that I think I don't know what it is. I think it might have something to do with they want to feel special or something, or
Mm,
might be a guilty conscience. Who knows? But I think that I know exactly who I'm shooting for. And in business, you have to know who your target market is as well. When you know your target market is, everything that you do is catered to them. Like we all know about the 38 special and Jadakiss beef going on right now. But 38 special has
man,
he knows his market,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows who he's talking to. So that's why he's successful in his right. You know what I'm saying? But I know Jamal had to be funny, man. Yeah, he said.
He ain't messing with Kiss, bro. I heard a couple of joints. I'm like, man, dog, you not messing with Kiss, bro. I
I have so many
I
opinions about
try,
that.
bro. He nice, but he ain't nicer than Kiss. Top 5 that are alive.
I
Mm-hmm.
think certain things as far as now me being a person involved in marketing,
Right.
I respect it because he took a shot. So
Mhm.
now that he might not get the response from Kiss, but because they looking at him like, yo, who this dude right here got the audacity to say such and such about Kiss? Now they looking at it like, now they're interested. My homie streams is going up.
Mm-hmm.
He getting booked for
Mhm.
more higher platforms.
38 Special, right?
No, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah,
working with higher echelon producers now.
yeah.
Because now they like, yo, who is homie? But then they go back and they look at his work like, oh, okay. And then now everybody want to be a part of the hype.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got producers that want to chime in. They like, oh, I want to be a part of something happen.
They tapped
You
into
know?
the algorithm.
Yeah.
Now
Tapped
you get
into the
my
algorithm.
now you get my
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
point. So
yeah.
it's like again, he shot high. He shot high. He might
Mm-hmm.
not get to that
Mhm.
highest point, but he might even get to the middle, and that's still successful. That's a prime example of when to shoot high. Even if the dude don't answer and they look at him like he crazy, right? The dude who was selling the $100 cheesesteak, they said he was nuts for having a $100 cheesesteak, but people bought that joint though, and people still buying that joint, which is crazy.
You talking about the boy that does the talk with disease the food truck?
Yeah,
That dude? I ain't
yeah, but
never had one. I ain't never had one yet.
bro, listen, like they said it's $100. He wrote a book behind it, and it's the psychology behind it. But you shoot high. Whenever you shoot high, people always every time you do something that's out of the ordinary, they call you crazy. They call you nuts. They call it
Yeah.
like, yo, now you like, oh, he bugged out for that. He going
You know,
38 special gonna probably get called crazy forever, right? He gonna get called crazy forever. But he right now, regardless if Chris respond or not, that man winning.
Yeah.
He
Facts.
winning right now. I
Facts.
mean,
yeah, I
Facts.
think that's a very good point. And we've learned a lot about your journey. I wanted to get your insights on some of the new entrepreneurs. We have a couple of stories, some examples that we wanted to get your take on. What we got? What we got on the docket today, Maul?
Bruh, I mean, this was influenced by our boy Tom, but I think it coincides with what we're talking about with Steve right now.
mm,
The hustler spirit.
mm, mm.
What did Ho say? I'm a hustler. Period. Whatever John was off the Blueprint. Blueprint 2. Or was it
Uh,
Dynasty album? I forget. But you get the point. The hustler spirit, bruh. So listen, the hustle spirit is all about the grind. It's all about the
mm,
dedication to the craft. It's all about
mm,
resilience. It's all about not giving up. You know what I'm saying? It's about showing up for yourself every single day, right? And just
right.
keep on going. In a lot of cases, when you're doing something strange or different to everyone else, right? You know what I mean? Everyone calls you weird. They call you a
Mm,
cornball. They may not
mm,
support you at first, you know what I'm saying? But they'll
mm,
catch up later. The whole point
yeah.
is you gotta believe in a vision. You gotta believe in what you got going on. You gotta believe in your own motion and just keep on going because eventually the day twos are the one that's gonna show up and support, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Tom, yo, what was that joint that you put in the chat, which is wild, bro, with the little kid?
Talk
That
to
joint was
us.
nuts.
So it was a little kid, and his mother was snapping on him. She was flipping out. She was going crazy. She was yelling at him because he had all these feminine products sitting on the ground all bagged up and
And it
everything.
was her products too, by
And
the
she's
way.
yelling,
It was her products.
huh?
Was it her
You
products?
said what?
It was her products, right?
No, so originally I think it had started out as her products that he was taking, but then I mean he started running it.
Who
So he started
invested
going
that
and
joint?
having the other little girls buying the other feminine products to you know what I mean for the supply. So he's getting the supply. And then so she's running, she runs in the room and she's like, why you got all this shit? She's cussing at him, kind of crazy for real. But she's cussing at him. She's really upset. And she's like, what do you got on the floor? And then he starts breaking down to her what he's doing. So he says, listen, there's little girls at school that need feminine products, while they're in school. And I have my other little friends that are girls sell it to them.
Oh,
and she's like, what are you talking about? And then he got like 20s. He got a bunch of 20s wrapped up on the floor, like all types, you know what I mean? Like all this cash. She said, you making all this money from this? He said, yeah, I'm making all this money from this. And then she starts smiling and everything. And he's like, yeah. So he said, obviously, he said, I'm, you know what I mean, run a little business. He said, the other little girls don't have the products at school with them. There's not available to them. He said, no. He said, I figured out a market and I attacked it. You know what I mean? And the other little girls sell the feminine product to the other little girls. They come back and bring me the money. You know what I mean? I basically paid them for doing that.
Bring me the money.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But listen, that's we need more of that though. You know how that genius that he had to come up with that, to come up with that, like, yo, how can I make some money? Now, raise your hand if you thought about selling feminine products to make money.
Of course not.
Nobody.
Nah, of
nobody.
course not.
Listen.
No. Not
listen.
as a kid. Because
no.
Bro, because that's another part of the hustler spirit. You got to not care what it looks like.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying?
That's important right there. Right. That's extremely important.
And if it looked like the thing is, he knew it looked weird if he did it. So what did he do? You know what I'm saying? He got his little corner workers out there. You feel me? Like,
he's doing what he had to do.
Off the Boondocks when Riley was selling chocolate, like it was at Yay.
Hey man, listen. He found a niche. He was like, listen, these little girls is need. I'm supplying them with what they actually need. It's not even a want. What they need, and nobody else is doing it. I'm gonna do it. I see the market. I attack the market. I make the money. Everybody happy. It's a win-win for everybody. You know what I mean? And that's just true entrepreneurial spirit. Like, so it doesn't matter if that kid was selling feminine products or he's selling something else in the next 20 years. We'll probably see him doing something major. You know what I mean?
Be on Shark
People like that don't stop.
Future Shark Tank.
Absolutely don't stop.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just that, and I was just, we were gonna sit down and interview with you, and I know you have your morals over money and all your other entrepreneurial endeavors, and it came into my mind as I'm seeing these pop up on my screen, and I also seen there was another situation where a guy was in the back of a movie theater selling chili. And people are going up there and buying chili.
Yo, that's
buying
ill.
chili from him.
I respect
in the back of the movie theater out
That's
the crock
ill.
pot. It probably smelled delicious.
Up,
so people are like, the movie theater not selling chili. I'm gonna get this chili. And
Yo,
so the
that's
movie theater
fucked
kicked
up.
him out. But something like that, right? Also, movie theater not selling chili. These people want some good food while they watching a movie. Who don't want to get good food while they watching a movie? So it's that, right? It's that, and the entrepreneurial spirit and understanding the hustler's mentality is I can make $1 anywhere. It's not that I need this whole big platform or somebody behind me, some marketing machine for me to make $1. I'm gonna figure it out. And I'm gonna get to it. And so, since we got you on the show, and once again, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that we get to kick it with you, man, and you get to sit down with us. But just from all the things you've done, all the things you got into, man, just your hustler spirit, your hustler mentality. How did you even get there? How did you even get to that? I need to sell this. I need to sell that. This market, this niche. I know you just told us about, you listening to music as a kid and you wanting to do music, right? But where did the hustler spirit come to you and say, not only do I want to do music, I want to hustle this music?
First of all, being independent was because I didn't like the way how the industry was ran early on, real young, and I thought it was like really corny about how like I would hear stories. Even we have a lot of people from Lawnside that were involved in like a lot of industry stuff, like back in the day, and they industry got them, and I wanted to make sure that my ducks was lined up early. And I knew that the independent route was, but I didn't know how I really had to go about it. To be honest with you, around that time, I was lazy as hell. I was lazy. I didn't really have a really good solid work ethic around that time. Uh, when I was going to school, I was going to school in Philly. I went to art school, Hutchins School of Arts. It was on, I don't think they're open anymore, but they were on Market Street at the time.
Mhm.
And I they taught me all this different skills and stuff that I know now as far as like making shirts and stuff like that. And now if I was smart back then, I should have used that class to get my own shirts, make my own situation, and then sell them. But I wasn't thinking like that at the time. But I still had the thought in my mind. I was like underneath like a lot of financial like trouble, like a lot of financial stress at the time. I didn't want to drop out of school. Um, my mom was having trouble in times affording to pay for it. I was having trouble paying for like my supplies. I was having trouble paying just even to get back and forth to school. I was like down to like my last dollar. I remember one time I had like probably 15 cents in my pocket and I needed to get on the train and I had to, no, I think I was like 15 cents short and I had to ask for change just so I could get on the train. It was like the most embarrassing thing ever. I was on the train, the big ass book bag and all my books, and I was just sitting there thinking. And I was around certain people that was involved with certain stuff. Probably shouldn't have been around them. Um, and I needed to make some money. I wasn't really like a street dude like that. You know what I mean? So it was like, but I understood that product is how you make money. So a majority of the dudes that I went to school with, they was all getting hide in the giraffe's ass. So I was saying to myself, I might not want to sell it on the street, but I know I could probably sell it to my classmates, the dudes that I'm in school with. So I was around dude, so I
Mm-hmm.
was around dude every day. Dude was pulling up on me, and he was showing me big knots of money, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll be back. We come back, chill with you a little later. I gotta make a run." And I'm just a broke kid going to school, and I'm watching him, but he living real life right now, and he making some serious bread, and I'm just broke. Pockets got bunny ears in them. So now I'm just sitting in the back thinking to myself, like, I need some of that money. But I didn't want to do what he was exactly what he was doing. But one day we was having a conversation. He said, "Yo, so what do you think? Like, you think you might be able to capitalize off that situation?" And I looked at him, and I really didn't want to do it, but them pockets was looking funny. When he went ahead, threw me some, he said, "Yo, bring this back." Went to school, sold out first day, came back. He said, "You done already?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, you might have a little hustle spirit in you yet." Came back, gave me another joint, boom, knocked it out the next day. I don't know how much I was knocking out next day of the week, but then school I was eating, I was able to pay for my books, I was able to pay extra money. I'm like, oh snap, I'm moving a lot. He's like, yo, you moving a lot? You just doing that in school? I say, yeah. So boom, summer let out. So now I ain't in school no more. Bills ain't stopped though. Bills ain't stopped. Still got to pay for them. I still had a little part-time job pushing carts at Pathmart.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pathmark.
yeah. So that's way back then.
Throwback.
But
All right.
so I had a little part-time job that wasn't doing that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, so I hit my man. I'm like, I think I want to keep going. He like, you sure? Yeah. You like, you gonna have to be outside. You know that, right? I said, what's your point? So now I transferred it from that. Now I'm in the street. So then one thing leads to the next. I ran to this one guy. He asked for something else. He asked for something else. Now it's just, I went from going to school to catching cases to 10 years later. You know what I'm saying? Understanding, doing jail time, understanding different things, going through the game. I think it was like I was 20, 26, 27. I was I came home maybe like 2 years before that. I caught one charge, and I remember sitting in the county. Before I wasn't really conscious of it. I felt like I could do jail time. Man, that last joint, I was looking up in this county ceiling. I said, man, I can't do this no more. I said, I ain't got this in me. I ain't got it in me no more.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I had to thug it out. I had to ride the case out. Bailed out, went to court. They downgraded the charges. Went back, went to municipal. That was it. That was the last run. But in the middle of the process, I met somebody. Y'all might know him. His name, Stan know him, Raheem. Raheem was originally from Newark, but he moved down to Lawnside in like 2004, 2005. He was the first young black entrepreneur I ever seen open up a store. He opened up a store right across the street from my mom's street on the corner of Gloucester Avenue. Opened a store over there. When I first met him,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
he used to sell DVDs and mixtapes out his trunk when I first met him. He turned that into a store. Went in the store, I'm walking past one day, doing my thing. He was like, yo, come check me out. I'm like, that's you? He said, yeah. I said, all right, give me a second. Went around the corner, grabbed some money, came back. He had a clothing store. And I looked in it, and little did I know, that was like the first spark of knowing, like, oh, there's a way out. Like I'm saying, like there is a way to this entrepreneur thing. Like because I never see nobody do it.
Mm-hmm.
My mother tells me the story all the time. She said when I was 4 years old, I said to her, Mom, I don't want to work a job. I want to have my own business. She looked at me like I was crazy. And God is my witness. I said that. I still don't believe that I said that. She said I said that at 4 years old. But if you don't have those examples in front of you or nobody to see it directly to tell you how to do it, how do you know how to do it? You feel
Yeah,
what I'm
bro.
saying?
Yep.
And once I saw him, and then me and him started kicking it, and he started telling me about. Then I started learning about the seminars. Then I started learning about LLCs. I started learning about all these other different types of things. And then after I did my time, me and him became close friends. And I took the same formula that I was doing when I was hustling, and I put it into everything else. And when I found social media, he like, yo, there's this thing called Facebook. When I was in the streets, they used to call Facebook Fedbook. So
Right.
man,
Right.
I said, man, I ain't messing with that. He like, nah. He said, you trying to do this music thing? Yes or no? So I had like a little BS picture. Like my picture was trash. Like profile picture was some stuff. I think I was like sitting on the 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 roof, the hood of my car, throwing a fist up or something. It was something real stupid. But I was just observing how the social media thing was working. And then when I started recording music and started doing it, he actually started recording music with him. He had a little studio in his house with a freaking a blanket over the top with a mic in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started recording with him. But we started doing different things. We did a talent show. Um, that was enough. That taught me about marketing and promoting. Like that was the first time I ever did like went on foot. We got flyers together. We got the spot. We got the contestants. We got the judges. Timing, organization, hired the DJ. We put the whole show together. So that was another great experience that I had of knowing about how a show is come together and how a show is put together and how it works.
Right.
And I just took different properties from doing certain things that I was doing, and I just applied it to rap and anything else because it's really, you think about it, all the principles are exactly the same. None of them are different. If you selling a product, and you knowing that it just has to be a great product and it's going towards, again, circling back to what we did before and going towards a certain audience, right?
Targeting.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, not to, I'm not going to talk too crazy on your podcast, 'cause I don't want y'all YouTube to bleep y'all out, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
trying to be mindful, but serious. So like, you selling this product to this certain clientele, they don't do that thing, so you can't give that to them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, so I know
Yeah,
that
go
I'm
to a different block.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? I
So
know.
and then I knew the the it had to be footwork that you had to put down in. I knew that when I got around, I looked at, when I started doing the rap thing, I started looking at these dudes, and I'm looking around at certain things. I don't see not one shirt in sight. I ain't see no CDs. I ain't see no shirt. I ain't see nothing. You know what's funny? When I first started doing hip hop shows, artists used to think having merch and CDs was corny.
Oh, that's a fact.
Like promoting yourself was corny. Like why is he doing that? Like they used to look, that was like frowned upon. I'm like, so what, y'all just want to stay dusty and dirty forever? Is that what this is about? You know what I mean? I couldn't understand it. I'm like, yo, like it, but it's funny because I ran into one of the artists that I used to perform with way back when, and he said, bro, you know what? You gave me the formula. He's like, I didn't even think about even selling nothing until I see you do it. Because that I didn't have that an example of what it was. He was like, I was just rapping for fun, but he said, I looked at you and I said I could actually make some money from what I was doing. So it just carries on. Hopefully that kind of like answers your question about, you know, where that mentality and where that came from and how I flipped it and turned the negative into a kind of like a positive situation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that definitely answered it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Word.
Hey, but listen, before we I had a question. Yeah, so what major projects you got going on as far as the hip hop goes? Like what's your next performance? Give the details about that and your next project.
Okay, so this project, our project I currently have out now, it's called Learn from Your Enemies. It's produced by
Hmm.
another veteran producer. His name is E Dot. He's from Mount Holly, New Jersey. And
What up,
I've known
E?
I knew E Dot for years. We used to actually have a studio. Well, I don't say we. I want to say it was his studio. It was called the E Room. It was in Mount Holly. I knew him for years. I knew him since like 2017. But this project that we got working on is we worked on Learn from Your Enemies. It's basically what it is. It's funny because that project, it was so much going on personally with me that it was a reflection upon that the biggest enemy is the enemy within yourself. It ain't got nothing to do
Hmm.
with the external enemy. It
Hmm.
has to do everything that you challenge. You know, I went from being extremely aggressive to giving oaths and chants to telling stories to my grandmother passing to telling what God I worship and what fear that I have within inside of myself to the final tract of it was, well, understanding that the friend and enemy was myself. So it goes through that sequence.
And that's
You know,
out right now, or you working
yes,
that?
sir. No, it's out.
Oh,
It's
bet.
out right now.
What's it called again, brother?
Learn from your enemies.
Learn from your enemies. Say
Check out
less.
Yep.
What
Do or die.
what
Yeah.
platforms are you on, brother? Or
All of them. I'm on all streaming platforms right now.
learn from your enemies. Say less, bro. I'm gonna put that in my rotation.
Yeah, check it out, man. Let me know what you think. And as far as show goes, I have a show coming up in Ventnor, New Jersey, August 29th. Shout out to another artist. He does showcases. Named Trippy Trip. He's from that Atlantic City, Ventnor, New Jersey area. And I'm working on something interesting that I'm gonna be dropping for my birthday. So what I like to do is it's just like a fun project for me. I like to always drop around my birthday time. So uh I'm working on a project giving a tribute to the classic Nas project. It was written, but I'm doing my own version of it, kind of giving like a tribute, doing like taking a lot of the different samples, a lot of different topics, um, and kind of just paying tribute. I'm not doing all the songs from the project, but I'm just doing my favorites. You know what I
Right.
mean? The
Mhm.
things that I think that other people will like and that I like. So, it's gonna be very, very interesting. I'm having a lot of fun making that joint.
Bet. Well,
Yes,
listen,
sir.
man. Steve, yeah, I appreciate you hopping on, bro. You dropped a. I'm not gonna say nuggets. I'm gonna say boulders, bro.
I
A lot
appreciate
of
it, man.
lot of wisdom, a lot of what I'm saying, like lessons, in your speech, brother. And I learned a lot from what you've been saying, bro. Trust me, I took a lot of things you said to heart. So,
Yeah.
um,
Oh,
go ahead, bro. You about to say something?
no, I said I hope you did, man.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully, you know, whoever's watching this, will benefit from it, even as an artist. If you even thinking about even doing it, whether it's business or whatever you're thinking about doing, um, take some of that stuff and heed and some of that. Also, one thing before I wrap it up, um, I want to say to any entrepreneur, any artist, anything, a few, two main key points. First one is you don't always have to be right all the time. You don't always have to be right all the time. Sometimes the biggest successes come in when you're wrong. Because when you're wrong is you have to be patient, and you have to be patient enough to be wrong. Because when you're patient enough to be wrong, that's when the right answers come.
Mm,
The second one is you only have to be right once. One time.
Hmm.
That's it. That means, you know what that means? That means you're gonna go through a lot of pain, bro. You're gonna go through a lot of pain. And it's alright to go through pain. It's just like working out. When you're doing them push ups, when you're hitting that bench, when you're going doing that run, when you're doing that circuit. That's why it's called resistance training. You're gonna get resistance. It's just something that's gonna happen. You can't get around it. So being right that one time, that's all it takes. So don't be afraid to be wrong.
don't
Excellent
be
advice.
afraid.
Excellent advice.
Don't be afraid. Fear,
Yeah,
man, can paralyze you or can motivate you.
for
It's up
sure.
to you.
Mm.
Facts.
Tom, you got anything, brother, before we like go out?
Man, yo, it's just been such a wonderful pleasure to have you on, man. You like Maul said, you've been dropping boulders of knowledge today, brother. I
Facts.
mean, you just been
Appreciate
left and right, right, left. Yeah, man. I'm just like
it.
you. Even if you wanted to dip the knowledge, you can't. That's how much you giving right now, man. So it's real, man. It's great, man. I'm just when anybody comes on here or whatever, and yo, y'all get to talking, man. I'm like, I was surrounded by y'all. I was surrounded by all this intelligence and all this knowledge growing up, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know it. I
yeah.
you know
No,
what I mean? I took
nobody
it for
did.
granted growing up. I took it for granted, right? Where we grew up, right? We
Yeah, for
we grew up in
sure.
an all black, you know what I mean? All black area. Everything had all this black knowledge and stuff like that. And we took it for granted. Like this was just whatever.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you grow up, you get older, and you get out in the world, and you're like, damn, we was really blessed, bro. We was
Facts.
really, really
Yeah.
blessed.
Yeah.
Facts.
And,
Facts.
and like I see the endeavors that you've gone through, and I seen the struggles that you're going through, and I see you keep getting back up, and I see you keep doing your thing, man. And like I said, man, I'm just honored. It's a pleasure, man, to really have you on the show,
Yes,
man.
No,
sir.
for
And
sure.
I hope you can come back because there's still more questions. I got a ton of more
Yeah.
questions. You just
Yeah.
Y'all could have stopped me, man. Yo, you cut me off, dog. Cause
Nah, bro.
sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Gotta
Y'all
let
could
you
have cut
cook.
me off.
Gotta let
Yeah,
him cook.
I
it,
appreciate
You know
it,
what I'm
but
it
saying?
You
I be
can't.
telling Stan, like sometimes Stan just be looking and listening. I be like, bro, why don't you cut me off? He said, nah, man, it was just so you was just giving so much. I didn't want to stop you from talking. But
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, but sometimes cut me off, G. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, just cut me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Then go to the next
yeah, man.
question. You feel me?
Nah,
Nah,
you
that's
know
cool,
Yeah,
bro.
so like
you're rounding
you
up.
know what?
My bad.
This got to be a part 2 loading. There's got to be a
Oh
part
yeah,
2
Hey
loading of
man.
this interview.
Hey
definitely.
man. Let me know, man. Let me know.
And
What's good?
this has really been great, man. This has really been a one-on-one conversation, man. And
Word.
I love it, man. One-on-one, man. And like I said, man, much appreciated to you
No
and
doubt.
blessing with all your future
Yes,
endeavors and
sir.
current
No
endeavors,
doubt.
and do your thing, man. Do your
Yes,
thing,
sir.
man. And we'll have all your information in the description and everything like that. So everybody go out there, check out Stevie Franks. Check him out, man. He got the album, he got albums. Y'all need to
Facts.
go back and check all
Yeah.
his
He's on
shit.
Yeah.
You know what
Spotify.
I
Yep.
mean?
He's on Apple.
His merch. Go copy his
Yep.
merch. Go get all of that. Just
Yeah.
buy it all. Just buy it all. Buy it out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Words
All
born,
right, man. That's all I got. That's all I got, good brothers.
Stan, take us out, brother.
Hey man, I get to interact with and grow and learn from this brother on a consistent basis, and I'm just happy other people are getting to see what I get to witness all the time, man. It's not really surprising to me. And surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. That goes for everybody on this panel right now. We're all in this room for a reason, because we're getting value from each other. We're giving each other value. So once again, man,
Sure. Sure.
I'm humbled and
Sure.
blessed to have you on this podcast.
Sure.
And feels like 1990 in the 1990s all over again, man. Just sitting and kicking it.
Yo.
Best
And
times.
like Tom
Facts.
said, man,
Early
all the things we
2090
learned,
shit.
just being around
Yeah.
each other, and just from people older than us coming up alongside to get out into the
Yeah.
world and realize, wow, we had actually
Yo.
good knowledge as opposed to a lot of this knuckleheaded stuff out there.
Uh-huh.
Like, it don't hit you till you actually get out there. So
Yeah.
Bro, listen,
great
even
episode.
even the teachers, man, like that we had growing up,
Shout out,
man,
Mrs.
like
Long,
Yeah.
Mrs. Ragsdale.
Mr. Johnson.
Miss
Rest in
Higgs.
peace,
Yeah.
Miss Ricks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You
mercy
know what
and
I'm
peace.
saying?
Yep.
Word up.
Doc.
Yeah, yo, yeah. Doc. Yo, Doc was crazy, yo.
Miss Higgs, you know what I'm saying? All of them. All of them. All of those guys, man.
For real,
Oh,
man.
the great times.
We were blessed, yo.
For sure,
Word
for
up.
sure. But hey, listen, this is Jack of All Trades, episode 16. Listen, if you want to come on this podcast, you have something to share, something interesting, something that of value to share, man, let us know, man. Comment, email us, DM us, instant messages, whatever you choose. But we here give people a voice. There are a lot of people that have a lot to say. Boulders like Stevie Franks was dropping. And this is the space for you, right? If you like what we got going on, like, subscribe, and share, man. Tell a friend. This is Jack of All Trades, episode 16. We signing out.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades, I move how I move.